guys, and welcome to another Scrawlrbox unboxing. Let's start! I need a scissor. Okay, seriously guys, how is this supposed to work? I'm going to... No, but it looks so good. It should just go like that. Yeah. Pastels. The same jelly roll as I think was in the upgrade, right? So my little research says it is the same one, which means that I don't like it because it didn't work that well. But that's like, I think, a general problem of jelly rollers, except for the Uniball, of course. Pastels, yeah. Normal, well, one thing after the other. Prismo, I think it's just a normal pencil. Sea white brush and a beautiful sticker. Priss is featured in this month's box. She's an awesome artist. Yeah, as you can see, she's awesome. And spirit animal. Okay, so maybe I'm combining animal with face, but I'm not sure about that yet. But that's my first idea. That's her artwork. And that's where you can find her. You can obviously find her on YouTube under Hello Alice. And you should definitely do that. And then there's some paper. Yeah, so I think I'm doing pastels again. Looks like.
Hi guys, and welcome to the voiceover. I'm so sorry for the bad audio quality earlier. I somehow lost the part from a mic, and I've searched for it everywhere, but I can't find it. So I made the best that I could with the quality from the camera, but it's bad, I know. And thank you for sticking for so long, since you're still here. But let's start talking about this month's Scrawlrbox. At first, I need to admit that there's a long time between each step. So between me painting, me editing the video part, and me talking here to you, there are a lot of days, and that's just because of the huge test coming and me studying so much that I couldn't find the time or the right mental space to do this, because I need to kind of be in the right mood to talk to you guys and feel like I'm not talking just rubbish or being too much at a different place. But yeah, now is the right time for me, so let's start talking about the painting. The prompt, as you know, was spirit animal, and to me there are a lot of animals that I feel more connected to. As a nature lover, I kind of love a lot of animals anyway, but not so much insects, as you may know. But, for example, owls, I really love them. They represent learning and wisdom to me, which is something I really admire. And also deer. I never really found out why, but I just feel connected to them. It's maybe I feel as sensitive as they are. Yeah, I think that's it. So I decided to make a deer because, yeah, it felt right. And yeah, then I thought about the composition, and I don't want the focus to be that much on the face, so I cropped it a lot. And then I made my very typical hair thing because I thought a long time about the background, and I couldn't figure out the right idea, because at first I was like, make a nature background, and then I was like, maybe an abstract background, and then I thought of my healer painting, and I thought we are kind of going in the same direction. So I went with the hair all over the place thing. I don't know if I just invented this or if that's also a thing. And I've just seen it somewhere and now I'm making it all the time, or if that was my idea. I really don't know. But yeah, then I wanted to make a deer in the left middle corner thing, and first, as you can see, I'm leaving out space for the deer, and I'm deciding to not make a realistic one, a more cartoony one, because I just was in the mood for that. But then, when I'm getting to the finishing part of the hair, I'm kind of over the idea of making a realistic color, and also I thought that would just be too much of the brownish color, and I have so many popping colors in here. So I went with a different idea. I made it translucent, like a spirity, ghosty thingy, and I thought that fits. So yeah, I was a little bit nervous about that, but I just started with the hairy part and made it a little bit lighter. After, of course, I made a layer of violet, because the idea of making it translucent actually came after the violet that I painted. But you will see that. So I'm making the hair on top of the violet, and then I'm making a borderish thing and making every contour that I like to be darker. And then at the end, I decided to paint the nose differently and just add some highlights here and there. And yeah, that's kind of the artwork. So let's move on to the art supplies. I need to apologize for the beginning part where I was like, pastels, great. I just looked at the shape and I was like, oh great, because I'm not the biggest fan of the texture that they have, and it's just a very uncomfortable thing for me. But these ones are water soluble, which you might have found out by now. But anyway, after I did the research and read the whole Scrawlrbox thingy that comes with the box, I of course figured out that they are water soluble, which the brush should have hinted, but yeah. And I touched them and they have very much different texture than the other pastels. They are way more comfortable for me and I don't have a problem with working with them. They are better than watercolor pencils in my opinion, because they do dissolve a little bit better and they are not pastels at all, because they are very, very dark and pigmenty, which is great. And if you want to dilute them more, then use the same technique as I did and just cut or rub parts off of them, or paint on an extra sheet and then dilute it with water. That works perfectly. Though don't draw on it and then dilute it with water. You will see the streaks, as you can see, maybe. Yeah, I tried to hide it as good as I could, but I made this mistake twice, and one time I could hide it pretty good, but on the deer itself, it's a bit prominent. But all in all, I can really recommend them. They are a great new thing to try out, and I may have sounded a little bit disappointed which, as you know, I never am critical of that because they can make every box just fit me. But of course, pastels aren't my thing, but they are definitely not in that same category. So yeah, then let's move on to the next thing that I didn't really use as I should have or could have used it. That's the Priss pencil that came with it. I didn't realize that it was water soluble as with the crayons at first. So I could have used it to make darker spots, which would have been great. I can definitely see some spots now where it would have been really useful. But yeah, I just used it at the beginning to sketch out everything and didn't really, get use out of that. But yeah, now we know. Anyway, the last thing in the box is of course the jelly roll, which, as I told you, I don't really like. I'm not the biggest fan of jelly rollers in general because they always end up mixing with the color underneath and they just don't really give me the result I want, and that frustrates me a lot of the time. So I just end up using acrylic white or whatever I find useful at the moment. I've heard a lot of great ideas that I need to try out in the future, like there was some inky kind of stuff, and I will definitely try them out, but I haven't yet, so I don't want to tell you anything that I don't have any idea about. But there are some great videos testing out jelly rollers, and the Uniball is of course a great one that I also like to use. But the jelly roll that was sent with the box isn't my thing. That were all of the supplies that were sent in the box. And I wanted to give you a little update at the end of the video. I'm currently still studying for the application test for the public university. I did though get a place at the private university, which means that I'm definitely studying medicine this September or October, which is very great. I'm so happy. There are pros and cons to both universities. Of course, the private one I need to pay on my own, and the public one I don't have to pay anything. But all in all, both are great universities, and I'm very, very happy that I'm going to study medicine. I will keep you updated on whatever happens next. And yeah, that was everything for this week's video. I hope you had fun. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!